during such public hearings. There is a Zoom link and a meeting call-into number 1-929-205-6099. The passcode is 420045. We have a continued public hearing, 11 and 13 3rd Street, Daniel Ruggiero, variance application seeking relief under 195-9 relating to the conformity, specifically front setbacks and floor area ration, and any other relief deemed necessary. The applicant would like to construct a farmer's porch and a garage. Someone here to speak, Mr. Ruggiero?
So the farmer's porch, after talking with Jose the other day, is a non-issue. It's not something that I guess we really need permission from the board for.
We should not use it as a percentage to determine the floor ratio area because it's open.
We can remove that from the floor ratio.
Yes.
Yeah.
We still have the setback of 8 feet. That was, I think, on the other one, just a little different.
Yeah, I left the new plans before you got here on your desk, the engineered plans.
Yep, stamped as, that's just perfect.
Wait, so this is, to just remind me, they're moving the existing garage and building a new one?
We're
right?
we're demoing the existing garage and building a new one will be attached to the house.
And
This is
extending the
the-
kitchen,
Extending the kitchen, yeah. So the existing garage is non-conforming.
Yeah,
It was pre-existing non-conforming.
and you're gonna make it.
But now, when we demo it and build the new, everything will conform to setbacks. The only thing we're over is the lot coverage.
Yeah, I think before they were well over was our,
The old garage? Yeah, it was,
the new plan had you guys, your percentage over was,
It was like 4%, wasn't it?
4%.
Yeah.
Or 24% over.
yeah.
You have listed here the front setback proposed at 14, the allowance being 20,
Well, the 14 is already pre-existing.
but doesn't the farmer's porch show
There's a
8
set of
feet?
stairs there. The farmer's porch is just coming out, the length of the set of stairs. That's the discussion we had.
Mr. Nichol, we'll consider, this is suitable setback-wise for you?
Yes.
It's not an issue.
No, as
Okay.
long as it stays within that footprint, within the
Okay,
stairs.
Stairs are?
So then we don't need to consider that at all?
yeah,
Just the
it's
garages?
his decision, certainly. He can put no line.
So do we have a new calculation of lot coverage, not including the farmer's porch?
That is.
It's still
It's
24%?
24%, yeah.
Because wasn't it 24%?
Yeah, it's still
Last one?
24% because the engineer, they never included it. They never included it. I didn't know they didn't include it,
I understand.
because they knew the law, I didn't.
Okay.
Well, it's nice to have it certified. Does the board have any questions regarding this application?
So this is a variance, and last time the sticking point was what is the hardship for the variance?
No, I think last time the sticking point was that we didn't have the right kind
We-
of plan,
Yeah, we
right?
continued when we didn't have a certified plot plan to know exactly what we were approving.
Okay.
This is certified from an
First,
engineer.
first was the plan, because it didn't really, because there was, the two plans we had two different measurements at lines, so that was the first.
Yeah, there was a misprint on the plan.
Yeah, and then when you get into the variance legalities, that's would be where we,
I think we said the corner lot.
And dimensionally, we comply completely, so it's just the lot coverage of 24%
because
versus the requirement of 20%.
they're increasing by, was that 8%?
4%, I think?
Their overall increase rate.
Overall increasing to 8%, yeah, because it was 16% existing. Well, yeah.
I see, I see.
But it is a two-family, so that's 4% per side.
And you're keeping it two-family.
We're keeping it two-family, yeah. Yeah. We're keeping with the characteristics of the neighborhood. We wrote a letter out before we came tonight and kind of put it on the desk before we came, just stating
There's an
that.
additional letter?
Yeah, I put it on the desk with the plan earlier.
No, it's just,
I have another one here.
I've
Yep, you
got
got
it.
it. That's
It
it.
was right under.
That's it. No, right in front of you. Right in front of you. Yeah, that's it.
okay,
Yeah.
great.
The neighborhood has a similar garages attached in similar, smaller lots in size.
All right, well, I will read this in, saying you went to the trouble of putting it together. To the Zoning Board of Appeals regarding a variance at 11 and 13 Third Street, Chelmsford. Dear members of the board, seeking a variance to seek relief from FAR and lot coverage for the construction of an addition and any other relief that may be deemed necessary. The existing lot coverage is 16%, the proposed is 24%. The existing FAR is .33, and the proposed is .41. It's a floor area ratio. Currently, the garage is a pre-existing non-conforming. We would correct that with the proposed addition. The proposed addition will meet all front, side, and rear setbacks. Currently, the property is located in a residential neighborhood. With the proposed addition, the community will be positively impacted on the neighborhood by improving the value of the dwelling. Existing driveway and proposed garage spaces will together provide adequate parking for the size of the dwelling. Neighborhood character and social structure. The neighborhood that surrounds the proposed addition consists of a variety of two-family dwellings, both with and without attached garages, all of which are on similar undersized lots. Those dwellings with attached garages are a similar size to the proposed addition for this property. Increasing this property would not have an impact on the neighborhood character or social structure. In 1977, the board voted unanimously to grant a variance of 1,445 square feet to the rear neighbor, making our lot even more non-conforming. The decision above predated statutory variance standards. Lack of zoning when the house was built in the late 1800s makes existing zoning regulations present a practical difficulty in making proper use of the property. Today's needs and lifestyle for a family home doesn't meet criteria of 1,050 square feet living space per side. And that's the letter I have. I think the other ones we had written in are already in the record.
Is there a lot coverage differentiation based on year built like there is for setbacks?
I don't think so.
There is, but because the zoning was predated, there's no date for 1800s when the house
So,
was
I'm
built.
sorry, what
If
was the
that's-
question
If
again?
I understand the question
The,
correct.
the date, I know we changed the bylaws to accommodate when houses were built for setbacks. Is there something similar, and we've never had to deal with this, but is there something similar for lot coverage?
It is definition, it is just defined. It is the percentage of the structures compared to the size of the lot.
Okay.
Which
So
is
it's
the
a flat-
RC.
It's a flat,
Yeah, it's
there's no
very-
adjustment
Right.
based on build, okay. And it's not applicable that there wasn't that there then, so we can't grandfather the lot coverage prior to.
No, it is my understanding that when something like this comes along, you just have to
Apply.
apply it.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board? I think I'll open this up to the public at this time. Is there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak in favor or in opposition to this application? And is there anyone on Zoom who'd like to speak in favor or opposition to this application?
Mr. Chairman, I don't see anyone on Zoom.
Thank you. Seeing none, accept a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for 11 and 13 Third Street.
I second.
Second by Steve. All in favor? Aye. So we can take this up right now? Any thoughts?
I don't have a problem with the proposed plan, it's just I don't see the hardship. That's where I'm,
Yeah, the hardship is part of the explanation that he read.
yeah, I understand what you, but it doesn't apply, well,
Yeah.
Doesn't
There's
ap-
state
yeah.
definitions of what what they consider to there's, the state has defined in the codes what hardship is qualified as a hardship by state definitions, so. And that's what
Yeah,
Stephen's trying to articulate. Topography, soil,
lot shape,
lot shape.
a lot is a,
And I would
A lot
suggest that
size.
we couldn't hang our hat on the lot shape or size as you see it.
Yeah.
It's a very small lot. It is a lot. I don't think what they're building is out of the question, as they've kept all their setbacks. They are crowding it, one could argue, because they've exceeded the lot coverage, but not by much, and all the setbacks are met. So I personally don't see it being a big stumbling block.
I'd say too, I mean, they are accommodating two families on one lot. So considering the details, I mean, yeah, it's small, but the building's it's developed for two families, so,
This is zoned for a two-family, it's RC.
Yeah.
But anything that predates 1934 is also qualified to have a two-family on it.
right, that's
So
what I'm
even
saying.
if this was an RC, it would still qualify because of the date of construction.
I'm just, I think that because it's building as having them exceed the lot coverage, because they're accommodating two families on such a small lot. Like, they're not building a astronomically sized, one big, huge mansion. They're trying to accommodate a two-family unit in a reasonable size. I mean, in my opinion.
One family is my daughter that I'd like to keep there.
Does she want to stay that close?
Yeah.
where it says lot shape, it doesn't have lot size as a follow-on to that, right? It's just the shape. It doesn't say, well, if the lot is small or,
It does specify size in the law, the way it's read. That's why we brought up the point where the 1445 was given up in the 80s to the rear before I owned it.
So there was an actual reduction in your lot size?
It was a reduction in a lot, yeah, the rear, and if you read the letter, it doesn't really explain it because I don't want to get into it, but I do have the deed and the variance decision. And it sounded like the guy built his garage and they decided to not make him take it down and they just gave him the variance.
But he
Because he
actually,
didn't
in
know.
some sense, traded or purchased a portion of your property before you
Right.
owned it.
Right. Yeah. I have that variance decision if it matters to you.
I mean, it's done. I don't think it would,
Okay.
their reasoning wouldn't really apply
Well,
to me.
if you read it, the reasoning might matter to you.
Right, he built it and then he begged forgiveness, and that's how
There you go.
they solved
So
it.
The deed's there and then the picture of the lot. And they gave him forgiveness, so.
So I will read it. There's a decision to James Lucatoni, 3rd Street, February 24th, 1977. The Board of Appeals held a public hearing at the Chelmsford Center Town Hall to consider a variance concerning the above property for a variance to permit Lot B to be conveyed to Lot 5. Lot A is a non-conforming and Lot B is a non-conforming, for this is for recording purposes. The board voted unanimously to grant this variance. The board felt that Mr. Souza's property had been landscaped, paved, in the belief that this property was part of his land. That to require this land to be restored to the original state would constitute a substantial hardship. This would be detrimental to the area that is in use already in existence and has improved the area. This is not a derogation of the zoning bylaws, as this would not change the lot substantially. Bobby Kidd. He's the only one I know on this. Anyone like to look at this?
This is behind them.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I guess the question comes down to, is there a hardship to the size of the lot? And I'm not sure how I would interpret that.
Or is it the condition of the topography of the structure, shape, or condition of the structures?
Thank you.
Condition, shape of the structure, condition, shape of the, and of the land? That's it. Depends on how you read it. I mean, is there such thing as a topography of structures? But
I don't
it could be
think
of
so.
shape of structure. that could make that applicable, which
Is
includes
195 ED not applicable here? Because it specifically calls out building coverage, also complies with current building coverage.
195E?
E1D. You know, under the chart, like Jamie was asking about, you know, because we have the chart that goes back for the setbacks. But underneath there, we also have provisions for insufficient lot area, insufficient frontage. Sorry, 195. I'm gonna give you a page number. It's 195.81. Right where the chart is. Do you have the same book?
I'm not sure it is, honestly.
8E, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the same book.
So this is where I'm looking down.
81B, right?
So this covers the setbacks, right?
Right.
This covers the, and this, then we have area,
20 to
frontage,
12
and
and
kind of the
this
D seems like a, would be the coverage consideration there.
So D reads, other dimensional requirements. The work to a structure which complies with subsection E1A through C above and also complies with current building coverage and building height and FAR requirements, which is, I think, where we fail. We do not comply with the FAR requirement, floor area ratio. Extension of the non-conforming structure along the same non-conforming line, which we do not really have a non-conforming structure, because it complies dimensionally everywhere.
Wow.
Parallel to the
Right, so none of
required
this stuff.
setback shall not be deemed to increase the non-conforming nature of the structure.
Oh, the house
Yeah,
is
but this, it's not
non-conforming.
pre-existing non-conforming.
The house
yeah.
is
It's
non-conforming.
not conforming,
Yeah.
it's not conforming yet, he wants to fix that right now.
Yeah, so none of
So
this
it
actually.
is non-conforming because of the garage.
Non-conforming now.
Now,
Well, that's what it would.
so it says.
Yeah, the frontage is,
Yeah, even the house is non-conforming
Right.
right now. It's not getting any worse, but it's,
Oh, it
making
is, so it is non-conforming already,
Yeah.
so
The
it's
front-
pre-existing
Pre-existing
non-conforming, so these are
non-conforming.
the things that,
it's
Would-
14 where it needs 20 in the front for the setback.
yeah. So it is pre-existing non-conforming, right, so those would apply.
So
I don't know,
front is
I don't know what the reasoning
25.
is behind D there. Maybe, I don't, maybe the building inspector can,
Work to structure. Extension of the non-conforming structural lines.
so if it's pre-existing non-conforming,
Yeah.
these things would be said to not
Right.
increase the non-conforming use, right? I don't know if this falls under that, it kinda seems like it,
Extension of the non.
although I guess if it doesn't meet the FAR, then
But right now, it meets the FAR.
it does, right?
Yeah, but it
is.
won't after the,
Yeah,
so that is becoming more non-conforming, the floor area ratio.
So because the FIR is becoming more non-conforming, then the lot area is also, won't fall under this D provision.
I
Does that make sense?
have to look, I guess I'd have to read it for myself, I don't know.
Do you want my book?
Sure.
You want to read?
I'll use
What section is it?
I mean, I know this is like the new part of the book, so I feel like we kind
Right,
of come
these
back
are
to
the
this a
changes
lot
that we're gonna have to
reread
learn.
it. But
I mean, I think I'm of the opinion that this is it's really not a problem. It's
Extension of the
conforms dimensionally.
non-conforming nature of the said structure. Yeah, I see what you're saying on E.
yeah,
It really doesn't.
It'd be
that would
allowed
make sense. I mean, that would
4%
make it
more of
by
the
right
lot
if that
coverage.
applies, but I guess that would be,
If it already,
I just
And
don't,
the- already is
11,000 feet, I mean, what are we really allowing?
yeah.
I just think it's odd that we're not
Change that.
applying, we're not considering lot coverage based on age like we do with.
Well, that's what I think
Dimensions.
that's what I think D is trying to do, right?
Right, but I don't
Address the
think it
coverage.
succeeded with this particular one.
I don't think this applies.
And the fact that it's two-family, I think there should be some consideration.
I mean, we're really here to decide if this is acceptable, not more detrimental to the neighborhood, and does fall under the realm of the variance. I think that we could consider this lot size a hardship.
Is that in the list of things, lots, I know there's lot area, but I didn't,
It just says shape.
yeah, I know there's lot shape. So if you had something that was like really skinny and long, so the area was
Yeah.
normally what you'd think is okay, but because you only have 12 feet across, you can't build anything.
Yeah.
That to me is the shape.
Yeah. It says shape, it doesn't say size. So it says specifically that finds that owing to circumstances relating to the soil conditions, shape, or topography of such land or structures, and especially affecting such land or structures, but not affecting generally the zoning district in which it is located. So,
How many, is that paper that got passed around still there, the 77 variance? and the
1445 square feet.
That's how many they took?
Oh, here it is.
We're well below if we had that.
So if that variance had not been granted, they would be complying.
I mean, if we looked at, if
But
it's saying-
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to wrap my head around it, I'm trying to figure out how we can make it work as best we can. And this says 11802, so this is the way it was.
That's 11802 now.
Right, and then the 1445.
Right.
$1,976.
So that'd be 13,247. And it would be, you know, by granting that variance, they did create a hardship. I don't know if that is a factor or not to consider.
It does talk about structures, right? So shape of the structures, and we're, structure of two-family home, like, they're trying to improve the structure of a two-family home.
I mean, I think they're putting a lot on this
Yeah,
lot,
they are, like, they need to.
but no more than the existing neighborhood, and we have had favorable letters, we've had no
Yeah.
arguments with
And you
that.
could look, but, and it says, it's specifically, if you read this, owing to the circumstances relating to the shape of structures, especially affecting such land or structures. So if you look at it that way, in fact, the structure of the house, it's
Right.
a two-family home, can't live in 1,000, who's living in 1,000 square, 500 square
Right.
feet, or however, they're just improving. But again, you have that variance, which took away, 1,400 square, 14,
If that variance had not been granted,
we wouldn't even have this discussion.
and, I mean, it may be a bit of a stretch, but that did affect the lot shape.
But they,
We wouldn't be granting this today if they came to us. That wouldn't have happened today.
but I think they'd still be at 21.8%, I think.
Oh, well, it's 20, I didn't do the math. I took him at his word that it was going to,
If my math is correct. If someone else can verify that, that would be,
What,
Are you doing that, Brian?
if the lot was now,
Brian, are you doing the math?
Yeah.
Okay.
got the biggest screen.
I've been counting money and cookies for a week. I'm done doing that.
I saw you out there selling cookies
Girls
the other
cook.
day.
Well, there's a cookie shortage, so I've been trying to help find cookies and count cookies, make sure everyone has cookies. Cookies, 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 numbers, how many cookies, how many cookies? Did you stop and buy cookies, Stephen? That's the bigger question.
So it is 20.4%, and we, Jose, cannot apply the variance standard to the FAR, making it a special permit.
He's thinking.
I'll do this one.
The wheels are turning. The wheels are turning.
Doing the official math.
Little pressure for the poor man.
To be fair, he's on that little screen. If only someone with a bigger screen could.
Oh, Jose, would you like to borrow this?
I think I'm good. 24.
Got a keyboard and everything? My goodness.
Let me do those. Oops.
Screen is too
Oh,
big.
yes, this one.
So would a special permit at 20.4% be applicable to this? It's not really, well, it is a dimension, that's what not dimensional relief, though.
Yeah, the way I see it is, even though that a little bit of square footage was increased, but now it's safer. It's more
Much closer, it's all but there, right.
more compliance. And after he showed me the letter regarding the trade-off, and not counting the farmer's porch as part of the equation, so he's got at least 100 and, I believe, 172 square feet less.
But I thought he said that that wasn't being counted before anyway, that
Yeah,
the
sorry, yeah.
architect or the, whatever.
That's right. But still, and it's a two-family. And again, the left-hand side garage now is more compliance as it's pushed
Right.
inward.
Dimensionally, he is making it,
Yeah, I
Much better,
agree. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know how complicated we can make this. I think, I mean, I'm comfortable with it. I think that granting the variance is acceptable. I was trying to find a way to grant a special permit if we could call the area, less than 20% of the change, so it would be
What
a
are,
special permit, but
what are your grounds for the variance then?
lot size.
Lot size is a thing. The shape, I mean,
The lot was adjusted with this variance.
right.
If the lot size hadn't changed, I can't say he's compliant, but he's awful close, within 0.5%.
So it's lot shape based on a reduction.
We could
From a
float
previous.
that. I mean, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of opposition to it. The point of the board is to decide if this is acceptable, not problematic to the neighborhood. There's no
And the law
resistance
does
to it.
refer to shape of structures, so, I mean, so,
what does the shape of the structures come in?
It says it right.
Sure.
No, I
makes the-
understand, but
the
where does it
area too
apply
big.
here? What is the,
Well, I mean, it's a two-family structure, like, for me, like, it's a two-family structure, so you're putting you're trying to accommodate a two-family structure on, what's the size of this lot, like?
11,
Well,
count-
the two-building structure, so you need two
Where's the square
garages.
footage?
Right.
What's the square feet on this? 11,000?
Yeah,
800.
There's no
families?
doubt it's tight, but the
On
whole
11,000?
neighborhood is tight.
Yeah,
The lot is
so-
small. It was larger
Right.
when they granted the variance, not for this lot, but for the lot behind it. They affected lot size. That affected lot shape. I mean, I think that we can pass this without fear of reprisal, so to speak. I don't think anyone's gonna have a problem with it. It's not wrong.
I say something? Can I just want to
Actually, the hearing is closed, so
Closed.
if you could not, I'd feel better about it. We could open the hearing, but we're closed. I think we can take a vote and see where it lies. I realize it's not the clearest, but I think that we're not doing any harm. It is a good plan. It complies dimensionally. They're within their space. And had they a little more space that was taken away from the lot, which we wouldn't be able to do today. We couldn't reduce this lot today to give it to someone else. Without this lot being a full acre, we can't reduce it. So that wouldn't happen in today's, if someone came in and applied to make that adjustment, we could not do it under the realm of the variance, so. Seems a little odd to let that happen and then not account for it. Just my feeling on it.
And that land was given to that other homeowner, that it's not.
Said a dollar.
Yeah,
On
so.
the
yeah,
deed, the deed says a dollar. I don't know actually what transpired.
Family or,
Yeah. They weren't family, but,
no.
So it's not like a right of way or any of that kind of thing?
no, it wasn't a
no.
paper street or right of way or easement or anything.
An easement.
He built
You know,
his
I was thinking if
garage.
There was an easement
He
there.
built his
then
garage and asked
they
for
both have
forgiveness. is
that.
what he said.
Right, or maybe, I mean, there may have been an honest discrepancy as to where it was, but we will never know. Someone feel like a motion?
I'll make a motion, Chairman. I make a motion to approve the variance application for seeking relief for 11 and 13 Third Streets under 195-9 relating to the conformity, specifically from lot coverage and including all letters read in.
I'll second the motion.
Like a motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't vote on it, so.
3-2. Evan, do we need a supermajority?
Yeah, a variance does need a supermajority.
That means it does not pass.
What's a
Would you be
supermajority?
more comfortable, Nancy and Steve, if it was a small area by a half to get down to that? Or is it something that would be much larger than that? If they went back to the drawing board, so to speak?
no, I don't have a problem with the plans as presented. I actually think it's overall a sensible thing to do. It's just I don't have a hardship based on the rules that I'm supposed to follow. I don't have a hardship to grant the variance, so.
The Board of Appeals is to appeal the decision that's set in stone, if you would, and, appeal to the reason of, is this a practical application of it? I respect that you can't vote yes for it. I just trying to understand what would get you there. I mean, do they have to get under the 20% with the existing lot size would be a lot. You're not doing a cape upstairs, are you?
I mean,
Is it a
okay.
Garrison style? There's nothing going on the second floor above the garage or the,
Yeah, we're just,
trying to figure a way to
Yeah.
reduce your ratio, the floor area ratio, which,
we've already been back and forth with the architect about reducing, and there's really, I mean, You know, it's 1,050 square feet each unit right now. So, I mean, the kitchens are tiny, the 2 bedrooms are, you know,
Yeah.
pretty small.
Well, I'd suggest talk with Mr. Negron and see if you can find a way to get under there, and I don't know how else to say. I mean, the vote was 3-2. It needs to be 4-1 to pass.
Got it.
It's,
Evan not vote?
Evan does not vote.
All right. What's that? I know, they already did. All we can do.
I wish I could understand an option that you could move ahead with and keep the
What's the difference in
size.
a variance and a special permit? What's required for a special permit?
You don't have to identify a specific hardship according to state law.
Okay, so what keeps us from getting a special permit?
Well, the dimensional requirements can reduce by 20%. So your side setback, which does not apply to you,
Right.
would be 12. So 20% of that would be like 3 feet. You could shrink that and get a special permit as opposed to a variance. With the floor area ratio, we're not thinking special permits apply? Is that your interpretation?
I'm sorry, what was that?
So with a
They do not-
floor area ratio, the reduction to a special permit would not apply.
It does not apply.
That was what I thought.
Yep. 195.9 conformity only applies to side yard, side, rear,
Side,
and
front,
front setbacks, not lot area or FAR.
He says.
Sorry, lot coverage or FAR.
His setbacks are also 10, not 12. The required setbacks on his end. So instead of 12, it's 10 feet required on the side.
Would be a special permit.
That's it. That,
Yeah.
Either
No,
way, it
that
doesn't.
on the bylaws, that is, it is applicable to.
Well,
his-
this is incorrect.
Yeah, that is incorrect.
Doesn't change our area ratio, but okay.
It's, yeah, that's not the issue.
I think I'd try to find a way to, is it, would the floor area reduce with a cape style on the second floor? Where we didn't have a full ceiling? That's not gonna help us either, is it?
If we can shrink a little bit, the kitchen extension,
So the FAR, you're talking about the FAR or the lot coverage?
Well, they're related, if you.
Yeah, they're related, but some stuff's not covered in lot coverage, I mean, in FAR that's included in your lot coverage.
Right.
Like the porch,
way
it's
this
not
shows is
enclosed.
24% for the lot coverage as opposed to 20% complying.
If you got your.
And the
if you got your
FAR
lot-
is-
Yeah, if you got your lot coverage down to 20%, your FAR would be.
Well, it would
within.
depend on how the building is.
Right, not necessarily,
Yeah, it
yeah.
would depend.
He'd have to lose like 500 square feet, basically.
430 square feet we're talking about.
Yeah, that's
It just seems unreasonable to ask them to drop that kind of number.
220 a unit.
Yeah, it's.
Where do you take it? It's basically the garage. I mean,
200 and
Yeah.
the garage is 576 square
40 square
feet,
feet
so.
per unit, that's a lot.
That brings a unit down to less than 800 with what you got, right?
No, he wouldn't have
That's
to
including the
shrink the
garage?
unit, he just would have to not grow it by, not grow something by 500. Because he's at 16%, he could grow by 4%, but not by 8.
That's like basically a garage. 576 square feet would be
Right.
either one of the garages.
And those are single cars, right? 24, 25?
No, they're two-car garage.
Two-car.
Since we're brainstorming here, I mean, in lieu of a traditional garage with four walls and a roof, you could do a carport.
That'll look beautiful.
I mean, if it is a full,
Goes nothing with the neighborhood.
yeah, I mean, you
Yeah,
could,
I agree with you.
a
horrible.
single car on both sides.
I understand that.
That might,
So, I get that.
still would leave your living space,
Yeah.
which is obviously more important.
I got you.
I hope you can find a way to make it work. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know.
I guess we just build it and ask for forgiveness later.
It seemed to work.
Work.
That one over there, I'm sorry, I do have it. Okay, thank you.
We done?
Well, right is right.
So we don't have any mapping or anything? Where's, we got spoiled, like, where's our maps? Where's our maps?
I know, we were.
Oh, I know, today is not the day, well, we've lost our help,
Well, at least
so.
we only have two here.
So you're getting 92 square feet back from each garage.
This is why I bring my stuff.
I can't function like this.
You see my babies.
Probably another 80, 81 square feet.
Okay, our next hearing is 8 Coolidge Street, North Chelmsford, Mass. I have a letter here requesting a continuance from Daniela Santos and Ariston Silva for 8 Coolidge Street, North Chelmsford, Mass. 01863. I'd like to get a continuance until March, I'm sorry, April, correct. We are in March.
Make a motion to continue 8 Coolidge Street to April 7th, 2022.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Second. Oh, it's right here, April 7th, okay. All right. Our next hearing is 25 Walnut Road, Stephen Finneral, Article 4, Dimensional Requirements, Special Permit, under 195-9B, a 20% reduction in any other relief deemed necessary, parcel ID 48-177-21 in the RB district. The applicant would like to add an addition as well as a porch to his existing home. Good evening.
I got like a couple letters here to add.
Great, thank you.
Hi, my name's Steve Finneral. I live at 25 Walnut Road with my wife and 7-year-old daughter. We've been there now for about 9 years. I grew up in Chelmsford. I've been here my whole life. We love our neighborhood. That's why we want to invest in our house. We want to live here for a long time. We're not interested in, operating someplace else. So that's why we're looking to add a garage onto our current house, and to fit in a 2-car garage that fits well with the house, we need to reduce the setback from 25 feet to 20 feet.
Does everyone have a copy of the plans?
I have extra copies. But I need-
Yeah, we normally get them on the screen. I don't know quite what's going on there, so we're not
We all
able
got,
to do that.
yeah, I think we all
It's
got it.
attached.
It's attached, we was attached to our packets on the desk.
Yeah, no, I got one. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure everyone else did. I didn't, just want to check. So it looks like they make the setback on the right-hand side by .4, which creates a special permit.
What's he doing in my iPad?
25.2 from the,
Dead end.
It's supposed to be 25, right, so it's under?
it is under, but it's not to 20, which would create the variance.
Oh,
so
right,
it's a
right,
special permit.
gotcha.
You're cracking yourself up.
Is the side the garage is on, it's It looks like it's a dead end.
It's
Walnut?
a
No.
large piece of land owned by the Armenian Church on Old Westford Road. So it's basically a woods.
Oh, you're the last
But
one
it's
on
the end
that
of the
road?
street.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a
right
nice
on the
spot
corner.
there. I love Walnut. That's a great street.
We
Yeah,
live-
it's the end of the street, and then the street kind of turns.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's-
so the side that we're asking about is just woods. There's actually not a house there.
Yeah, and there's no street in front of it or anything, yeah, there's nothing.
No, it's wide open for
You stock everything on Google
100
Maps.
yards anyways, right?
You
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah, it's a big piece of land.
Are there any questions of the applicant at this time? I will read the letters that I have. This is the garage addition denial letter from Mr. Negron. Dear Mr. Federal and Mr. Valari, as per your CPP submitted to the building department for an addition, a 24 by 24 garage with living room space, I'd like to inform you that for this project, you would need a side setback relief as 25 is required and only 20.4 is shown on CPP for the side yard. You can appeal at your earliest to the ZBA within 30 days of receiving this notice. Thank you, respectfully, Jose Negron. So that is the concern, it's just the side lot. We have a letter from Community Development to, we have new letters now, from the Building Department. There's an attached letter, which I read. The Water Department has no comments. The Police Department have no concerns. And the Board of Health has no concerns. Nothing from the Fire Department? From the Fire Department. That is unusual. They're gonna require the smoke detectors and hardwired.
Right.
But usually we get a letter. I have additional letters here. Dear neighbor, this letter informing we've submitted to the town of Chelmsford an application for a building permit. Our intent is to add a two-car garage for a home located at 25 Walnut Road. We're requesting a variance, which is actually a special permit, to reduce the minimum side setback from 25 to, it says in the letter, 20 feet to accommodate the garage, but it is 20.4, which makes a special permit applicable. Your support in the approval or application of this variance would be greatly appreciated. And Bonnie Heyer of 27 Walnut Road, I do hope you grant this request for application. The same letter is signed by Joseph M. Souza, 21 Arbutus Ave, which is probably the abutter to the left, is that correct?
They're behind us. So so Arbutus comes in behind. So they're our neighbor to the backside of our lot. So
Okay.
our backsides butt up against each other.
I do not object to the variance request for 25 Walnut Road. Joseph M. Souza. I think that is the two?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got copies, but there's two. So that's the letters. Any further questions? Is there anyone in Zoom that would like to speak in favor or opposition to this application?
No one on Zoom.
Seeing none, take a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second, Nancy? All in favor?
All right.
Okay. Any further questions, or does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the special permit, for 25 Walnut Road for under 195.9B, 20% reduction and any other relief deemed necessary.
Sounds good.
Seconded.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good luck with it.
Okay? Thank you.
Good looking addition.
Thank you very much.
It will look beautiful.
Would you like your letters
Need a
back?
mudroom. You have a 9-year-old, right? You need a mudroom for that 9-year-old.
7-year-old.
Oh, even more so, yeah, you definitely need a mudroom then, yeah.
I can give you this, so I don't think we'll need it. All right, good luck
Have a
with
good
it.
night.
Are we doing minutes?
We got 1 minute from last week. I looked at them, there's just like a couple minor typos.
This is the February 3rd?
Yeah.
This is that we're up to February?
Are we gonna do
Nothing
them without having
substantial.
anybody like here or
Well,
Evans on-
Evan's in the cloud.
cloud?
He's up there somewhere.
Is it just English?
Do you want to email Evan any typos? There's nothing.
It was
of concern?
just my name at the bottom of page 2. A minor typo. I mean, it's not, I don't care. I'm not gonna not approve it for that. And then the last one was, do we do a second to close the meeting? Don't we just do a motion to close and then vote?
We normally do, but you did do a second last month. I thought that was kind of odd.
To close,
Okay.
you do not need a second.
Because
But
it
you
says
did-
it.
But you did last month. It was very odd.
Well, I don't second anything.
Well, it says I made
can't
the motion
or
and then,
second.
and then I seconded, so
Yeah.
apparently I just did it all. The guys were leaving.
Per Robert's Rules of Order, you do not need a second to adjourn.
I know.
It's open to discussion, but you do not need a
Those
second.
are
And
just my
normally you don't
changes.
ask, but for some reason you asked last month.
I did?
You did, you did.
Look at the problems I've created months later.
It's all your fault.
So
So
without a
that's
motion to
it, so-
adjourn, can I get a motion to approve the minutes of February 2nd, I think, February 3rd, 2022?
I will make a motion to approve the minutes of February 3rd.
Second.
Steve?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now a motion to adjourn. No seconds.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
And hopefully we will get some support. Not that Evan wasn't supportive, but.
In the cloud, Evan. Are we,
Evan,
are we
where
adjourned?
did,
Are we
where did
adjourned,
Cheryl go
Chairman?
to?
Chairman,
Yeah,
Chairman, are we adjourned?
you made the
we-
motion to close, right?
I did make the motion to
Yeah.
close.
So we're closed.
Hang on,
Okay, I didn't hear. The official.
you voted on it.
The official, we're adjourned.
We're still recording.